Hello, we are Geeks Assembled,
Hello.
and today we are discussing a movie what deals with the story of the breaking of the Watergate scandal by the journalist, the Washington Post journalist, which eventually took down Nixon's government and took down Nixon. Um, this is the movie from 1976, All the President's Men, starring Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford, just to name the two leads there. So we'll go over to Susan for opening thoughts on this movie. Over to you, Susan.
All right, all right. Well, um I was well and truly obsessed with this Nixon, this time in Nixon's life from about when the Woodward and Bernstein um broke the story all the way till his departure from office. Once our current um, the the current president elect is his crimes are coming to notice, and even though the Supreme Court of the United States decided that there would be no trouble if it would be there would be immunity from prosecution if things were done in the name of governing. Um, I just don't get that because you can still do crimes and still be in government, as everybody knows. But these two intrepid reporters um, are um, are after more information about the break-in where the Watergate Hotel, because when when uh, Bob Woodward, who was young up and coming reporter, is sent to the trial of these five people who broke into the Democratic National Committee, because and the only reason it's really important that he was there in their trial was because it was the National Committee, and this is the Washington Post, because this is important on a national scale. Otherwise, it would have been page. It wouldn't have made it, but it was still a page 6 or 7 story. It wasn't front page yet, and so Woodward went, and suddenly he meets this guy, and this guy that he meets is part of the presidential legal team, and he says that he's not acting as a lawyer for these stooges, uh, and a lot of them were Hispanic men, chosen because at the same time all this stuff was going on with Nixon. Uh, it, there was a lot of pressure on people from Cuba and from other Latin states to they were afraid of a lot of infiltration of like this group of communist leaning people into trying to overthrow whatever. And so they were using that as a double-edged sword against these guys. But the White House guy was there, and Woodward caught this. He figured out what was going on. And so he just, from then on, it was Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman looking at these people like with over the camera, over the shoulder shots, these really intimate conversations with people who didn't want to talk to them. They didn't want to talk to them at all. None of them wanted to say anything. And eventually they got one person who was willing to spill the beans, and that was Deep Throat, and named after the porn video that was very hot at that time. Oh my gosh, it's all about this woman who was talking about her throat having a G spot. I mean, like that was literally what the movie was about. And so this man, they call it deep learning or whatever, and that means that they are learning about they will never ever reveal who told them this stuff, but it's deep background information. And this one was the deepest, so that's what it's called. Oh my gosh, it's such a good story. And this movie's full of slightly jeopardy. You just feel the jeopardy around the reporters and stuff. And I loved it, and I still love it. And um, we don't have very much time before Nixon part 2 comes back to power. And so that's where we are today. And yeah, so yeah, that's my opening thoughts. Back over to you, Lee.
Well, I think I'd have preferred to watch the movie Deep Throat, to be honest. Um,
What?
I know.
You didn't like it?
Oh God, it was. This movie won 4 Academy Awards. I don't know why.
What?
Um,
You don't know why?
I I can understand Watergate was a big thing, um, but this story of Nixon has been done a lot better. Like with the Nixon Frost movie, I thought that was an amazing movie. Um, this is about 2.5 hours long of nothing.
What?
It's just them sat about scribbling down things what people have said or people have nodded. There's no, and I don't know why you saw the Jeopardy because I didn't see any Jeopardy at all.
They could have been assassinated. They could have been.
It wasn't. There was no Jeopardy shown. It was
Okay, go
just
on.
Hoffman and Redford in the newsroom talking to their boss, going out asking people questions for 2.5 hours. That's all this movie was. And I mean, you got a great cast here. You've got even Jack Warden. You've got Jason Robards, Hal Holbrook. I mean, he's a great actor who played Deep Throat in
Uh-huh.
this. Um,
That was
even
cool.
even a cameo from Ned Beatty in this. And um, I just it took me a lot of willpower to sit through this because it was I don't know. There was just nothing there. I know it's a true story. I know this is how they broke the news in the Washington Post, and this is how they did it. But uh, there was, I don't, I'd rather watch paint dry.
What?
Yes,
Oh no!
it was so goddamn boring.
Oh no!
There was a little bit of excitement where Robert Redford was walking down that dark street, and then he thought he'd been followed, but he
Well,
wasn't,
he
and
was,
that was it.
he was. Uh, it, that's why he had to change cabs 3 times.
But there was nothing.
They didn't show that. But Deep Throat asked him.
I mean, this movie was just flatline all the way through for me.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, I mean, great acting. Don't get me wrong, great acting by but
I mean, it had F. Murray Abraham at
yeah,
arresting the Watergate break-in people.
yeah. But for me, there's there's been other movies what have done this better. I mean, I just don't understand how they won all these awards. It's I don't know. I know it's based on true events, but Hollywood does like to twist a little bit thingy and add a little bit here. But to me, they should have done that here because it was just so. I don't know. You had Dustin Hoffman mumbling questions to that woman, and all she would do was nod at letters. And I'm thinking, how is he going to get a report out of that? A letter
Because
here and a letter. But
you gotta understand that Bernstein was let me just answer this bit. Bernstein was a long-term reporter for the goings on in the White House and in Congress, and
mhm,
he knew all the players. He was in the know. So when he was asking when he was asking the lady about the situation, and
yeah,
she was using letters, or he was using letters, and she was nodding. The letters, you know, all pointed to these certain individuals.
I think the thing what did make me giggle, there was a giggle moment, and I think it was an ad lib from Hoffman in that scene where he sipped his coffee, went, "This coffee's cold." That's how exciting that movie was.
Oh,
Cold coffee.
oh, God.
I mean,
That was
it's a highly regarded movie, but I can't see it. I just don't. I don't know. It's maybe it was. I mean, it was nearly 2.5 hours long. Maybe if they'd cut it down by an hour, it might have worked better for me. Just cut out all the stuff what's unnecessary in the movie. But yeah, I'm sorry,
I
but
guess we're gonna disagree on well, all right. I mean, I'm gonna give you a chance to like. Was there anything redeeming uh about it?
I like the cast.
Okay, all
That
right,
was it.
all right. Well, um, yeah, I saw the Jeopardy. I felt the pressure. I I was like gulping air when they were going through the phone book, and they came to the wrong person's address, and that one was like, yeah, sure, I can answer all of these questions, and it sounded like she actually had all the right stuff, but the fact that it was just so political, even though she had the right stuff, the the right information, it was all coming from the political side. It was not coming from the the witness side of things. It's crazy for um it's crazy that you see how incredibly intense it was to even try to get the Library of Congress to go on record. I mean, they even like there was a cover up at the Library of fucking Congress. I mean, to me, there's certain institutions like the Smithsonian and Library of Congress that are there as factual depositories. These are the reality linchpins of our history and of our reality. But when that one got covered up, I was like, oh no. I mean, like that, the way that they showed those things to me brought, I mean, it was really incredible how intense it was for me. And so maybe it's just that I find it incredibly powerful that this newspaper had to stand up to the whole federal government at that point, because at that point the whole federal government was working against them. And that's actually what this new thing called Project 2025 is all about. It's about dismantling the civil servants, disassembling the reality linchpin of federal government. I mean, they did that. Nixon did that, and it just hasn't been the same since. Like, everybody's been trying, like all these people tried and failed, and that's my fear is that this one's gonna sit, but like, and what a good story, and it was fun to watch the relationship between Woodward and Bernstein begin. I see a lot of them on late night telly. They are still friends, still doing interviews together, still tied all in together. And Bob Woodward is still writing books. He's writing books with another author called Robert Costa. And so Bernstein is well and truly retired. And so that's the way that goes. And Bernstein was older by about 10 or 15 years from, so he's been retired for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, oh yeah, what was it, Bob Halderman or Bob?
So what?
Bob Bookworld or something like that. Bob Buchanan, something. There was one guy who was like being questioned by the special counsel, and when how they finally got the whole thing to break open in the government was that this one said, "Oh yeah, I can attest to the fact that there's a recording device in the White House in the Oval Office." So at that point, they knew that all that stuff was that had been recorded, and there's tapes out there. And so all but those 18 hours, 18 minutes of tape, anyway, all of that ended up in the hands of the news crews and everybody else. So amazing. Anyway, I would strongly recommend that you see All the President's Men. Even if Lee doesn't agree, I think it's a great movie. I would tell you that this is an important story, and it really scares the crap out of me because of what's going on now.
Well, I feel like we've watched a totally different movie.
I think that I don't know.
I mean, it was good to watch Hoffman and Redford doing the work together. I thought that was a great combination of actors. Jason Robards as their boss,
Yeah,
standing up for those two reporters. I thought,
that's Bradley, right? Yeah.
but apart from that, for me, this was just. I don't know. I won't call. I want. I know you called it a fun movie, but I won't even call it a fun movie.
Oh no, oh no. Okay, so
Mm.
tell me what. I'm scared to ask. What's your final say and score?
Hey, it's your final says go first.
Oh, shit. Well, I love it. I'm gonna give it 10 recording devices in the Oval Office out of 10. I just I love that he went, I am not a crook, and then shit, he was a crook. And
Um,
this whole thing was totally amazing. And yeah, it's a good movie. And the fact that it was made only 4 years after all this shit went down, that was good timing. They
I
got
think
right on that.
I think that's why it won several awards because it was made in the time the event happened
Yep,
and it was fresh in people's minds
yep.
because as it, now over what 40 odd years, 50 years ago now. Um, I don't know. This wasn't for me. This one, um, as I say, great cast. So I'm only going to score this because of the cast.
Uh-huh.
A great cast. This would get, I would say, 8 or 9 out of 10. But for this movie, oh dear, how low do I go? What's the lowest one I've ever done, Susan?
Uh, not saying, not allowing you to know.
Uh,
There's a government cover up of your low scores, buddy. I'm not gonna spill the beans.
I suppose. Do you know what? I suppose it's mostly different, seeing as you're an American and I'm British. Maybe we've got two different opposing ideals of this movie. Um, I don't give a toss about it. You love it. Um, oh, I'll, I'm going to give it 3 notepads out of 10.
Oh, jeez. God, so low.
Um,
Oh, God, that's so low.
it was just too long. It was just yak 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 yak, scribble 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 yak yak yak. That's all it was. Um, yeah, that's. I'm sorry,
Jeez.
but but
Oh,
as we always say here, if you've seen it, let us know what you thought of it, and if you
and
haven't seen it,
and
watch it.
and this is why we do these podcasts,
Yeah.
because sometimes we just totally 100% disagree with one
If
another.
if I had gone to the cinema to see this, I'd have walked out after an hour.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Wow.
That's the type of even with the good cast it had, I'd have walked out because it was just so dull, dull as dishwater. My opinion, of course.
All right, but
Susan,
I try to watch these ones. Like I enjoy watching, like
yeah,
I'm gonna make it sound like it's hard for me. Very British Scandal, Cobra, all these other ones about the inner workings of Number 10 Downing Street, and the scandals that are fictional scandals, and
we,
actually historical ones. And
we,
I don't have any problem with connecting. But
we don't have any British scandals.
oh, sure you do. Oh, sure you do.
No, 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 we're British. We don't do scandals.
Are you kidding? That's really what your nation is. famous for.
Yeah, well,
Excuse me, Prince Andrew. Anyone? 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 Anyone?
no, don't know what you're on about. Uh, but yeah, so we've disagreed on this one this week,
Hey!
you know. But as we said, he said, if you go and watch it and make your own minds up, see what you think, and let us know. Leave in the message on this video. Let us know what you thought of the movie. Do you agree with me, or do you agree with Susan? And you know, let's see whose side you're on. Let's see who wins this match. Um, yeah. So please, if you want to be in our cast or join our group, just message the video below. On the video below. We're on all the social media platforms, so you'll find the video. You just need to be 18 plus because some things we discuss are 18 rated, or sometimes we get heated. We have disagreements, don't we, Susan?
No.
Um, so yeah, message below if you want to join us. You just need a working camera and a working microphone on the device you use. And when you do subscribe to our YouTube channel, please press the bell notification button, and you'll get notified every time we put a video. So I think that's it, Susan.
Yeah.
We're ending this one on a bit of a downer because we're not in agreement. What a scandal!
Oh.
Good job. Good job. Nobody's taping this. Could use it against us.
No, right?